He told me, "I'm going to leave my wife." But I didn't expect what was going to happen. I don't believe in fate. At least, that's what I used to say until that cold September day, when Chicago's fierce wind mercilessly pushed me into the meeting room of that elementary school. I was late, nervous, and trembling with cold. I had no idea how to care for a child, especially one as fragile and traumatized as my niece Emily, who had just lost her mother, my sister Sarah. When I entered, all heads turned toward me. I could feel the curious eyes, judging my disheveled appearance and my unforgivable lateness. I gripped my bag tightly as I apologized, desperately trying to hide my embarrassment. "I'm sorry I'm late. The traffic was awful," I mumbled, feeling my cheeks burn. "Don't worry, we're just getting started," said a calm and gentle male voice, immediately catching my attention. I looked up and saw him for the first time. He was standing by the whiteboard, holding some papers. Daniel. I remember noticing right away how his brown eyes seemed to smile with empathy, even before his lips did. "I'm Daniel Carter, second grade teacher. Please, take a seat if you'd like." His voice had a comforting softness that contrasted with the cold I was feeling. I nodded and quickly sat down, feeling watched, exposed, and at the same time comforted by Daniel's understanding gaze. During the meeting, I couldn't focus on anything but him. It was as if something inside me had instantly recognized a part of myself I had lost long ago. When he mentioned Emily's name, my heart clenched, and I tried to pay attention. Emily is a brilliant, very sweet girl, but understandably withdrawn. Daniel paused, carefully searching for the right words. She's facing a lot of emotional challenges after the recent loss of her mother. I felt tears threaten to spill, but I held them back with desperate effort. At the end of the meeting, parents said their goodbyes one by one. I remained seated, trying to control my anxiety. I needed to talk to him about Emily. "Anna, right?" he asked softly, approaching my table. I looked up, surprised that he remembered my name. "Yes, I'm sorry again for being late," I answered nervously. "Don't worry about that." Daniel pulled out a chair and sat close to me, keeping a respectful distance, but close enough that I could smell his faint sandalwood scent. "I can imagine how hard all this must be for you." I sighed deeply. No one had said something so simple and sincere to me since Sarah died. "I don't know what I'm doing," I confessed quietly, barely able to voice it. "Emily needs someone strong, someone who knows how to care for her, and I can barely take care of myself." He leaned forward slightly, his expression filled with genuine understanding. "Anna, you're here, worried and seeking help. That's already so much more than many people would do." I looked into his eyes for a moment, feeling dangerously vulnerable. "Emily needs someone like you, Daniel. Someone who understands what she's feeling." He smiled softly, glancing away, perhaps realizing the delicate line I had unconsciously crossed. "You can understand too. You just need time, Anna." At that moment, the door to the room opened abruptly. A tall woman with a sharp, serious gaze walked in without knocking. "Daniel, you're still here? I thought you were done." I immediately noticed the tension in his face. Daniel stood up quickly, while the woman gave me a cool, assessing look. "Rebecca, this is Anna, Emily's aunt." The woman gave a brief, cold smile. "I'm Rebecca Carter, the school principal," she said in a professional tone, clearly emphasizing the surname. "His wife. I hope the meeting clarified everything you needed, Anna." I swallowed hard, suddenly feeling very small. "Yes, it was very helpful. Thank you." Rebecca briefly held Daniel's arm, possessively, before leaving again. Silence settled between us. Daniel seemed embarrassed, the softness from minutes before turning into tension. Well, if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to the school, Anna, he said formally, slowly stepping away. I stood up, realizing the magic of that first encounter had been brutally shattered. In the following days, I desperately tried to convince myself there was nothing in that meeting. I barely knew him. He was married and had a full life, completely separate from my emotional mess. But something inside me kept returning to that conversation, to the gentle warmth of his eyes, to the way he said my name. Weeks later, a call from the school made me rush there in panic. Emily was crying uncontrollably, hiding in the bathroom, refusing to come out. When I arrived, I found Daniel waiting outside, worried. She asked for you. She doesn't want to talk to anyone else, he said softly. I ran into the girls' bathroom, finding Emily curled up in a corner. She looked up at me, scared as I approached. I miss Mommy, she whispered, trembling. My heart ached deeply. I miss her too, sweetheart, I answered with difficulty, hugging her tightly. When we finally came out, Daniel was there, waiting patiently. Seeing him, Emily gave a faint smile. Thank you for staying with me until Aunt Anna arrived, she said, gripping my hand tightly. Daniel crouched to her level, smiling tenderly. I'll always be here, Emily. Always. He lifted his eyes to mine, and something strong passed silently between us, intense and dangerous. We knew there was an invisible line we couldn't cross. But at that moment, I realized it was already too late. I had crossed it, and I had no idea how to go back. The following weeks were a slow emotional agony. I did everything I could to avoid Daniel, but every effort only seemed to conspire to bring us closer. I avoided his gaze during meetings, responded to his messages politely but distantly, and tried to ignore what was growing inside me. Then came Emily's birthday. It would be her first birthday without my sister, and I was determined to make it perfect for her. I bought a huge cake, lilac balloons, her favorite color, and reserved a small area at Lincoln Park for an intimate picnic. We were setting up the final details when, to my surprise, I saw Daniel approaching with a small gift in hand. My heart raced, and a strange feeling washed over me, a mix of forbidden joy and anguished guilt. I hope you don't mind, he said shyly. Emily mentioned her birthday to me, and I wanted to do something special for her. I smiled, unable to completely push away the unexpected happiness his presence brought. Of course not. Emily will be happy to see you. He smiled back, relieved. When Emily saw him, she immediately ran to him, hugging him tightly while I watched silently, feeling a bittersweet ache in my chest. The day went smoothly until Emily suddenly disappeared. I searched for her frantically through the park, feeling a desperate anxiety grow inside me. Daniel ran with me along the trails, calling her name loudly. We found Emily sitting near the lake, crying silently, hugging her knees. Emily, I called, running to her and kneeling by her side. You scared us. Why did you run off like that? She looked up at me, her eyes filled with tears, sobbing softly. I wanted to see Mommy. I thought if I wished hard enough, maybe she'd come back today. It felt like a sharp blade slicing through my heart. Daniel sat beside us, gently touching Emily's back. I'm so sorry, Emily, he murmured hoarsely. Sometimes I really miss people who are gone too. Emily stared at him intensely, absorbing every word, while I struggled to hold back my own tears. Later, when Emily was once again distractedly playing, I sat on a bench near the lake, feeling emotionally drained. Daniel sat beside me, silent for a moment. Anna, can I ask you something personal? I swallowed hard, hesitating, then nodded. Sure. You never talk about yourself. He turned his eyes to the lake, his voice low, almost shy. How are you coping with all this? Losing your sister, This new life with Emily. I took a deep breath, feeling my defenses crumble. I feel like I'm slowly drowning. I confessed softly, feeling hot tears roll down my face. Emily needs me to be strong, but I'm not strong enough. Daniel gently touched my hand, and that small physical connection sent an electric current straight to my heart. Anna, no one could handle this better than you. Emily's lucky to have you. Our eyes locked deeply, almost dangerously, until we heard quick approaching footsteps. It was Rebecca, her face marked by suspicion as she saw us sitting so close. Daniel? I didn't know you were still here. He quickly pulled away from me, standing with an uncomfortable expression. Rebecca, I was helping Anna with Emily. Rebecca gave me a sharp, distrustful look, but smiled coldly. Of course. Shall we go? I watched as they left, feeling a huge emptiness slowly consume me. Days later, I received an unexpected message from Rebecca asking to meet at the school. When I arrived at her office, I immediately sensed something was wrong. Anna, I won't waste time beating around the bush, she began coldly. I saw your messages with Daniel. I felt my blood freeze. I knew there was nothing compromising, but the guilt inside me still made my hands tremble. Rebecca, there's nothing. Listen carefully, she interrupted, her voice firm and threatening. If you don't stay away from my husband immediately, I'll make sure you lose custody of Emily. I have enough influential contacts to make that happen quickly. Her words hit me like stones. I felt a terrible nausea take over me. You wouldn't do that to Emily. She's already lost her mother. Rebecca slowly stood, approaching me with arrogant superiority. Then don't make me. That threat hung over my head like an impending storm in the following days. I decided I needed to completely distance myself from Daniel, even if it tore my heart apart. My replies became short, my visits to the school increasingly brief and cold. Until one afternoon, a desperate phone call made me rush to the school again. Emily had fallen on the playground and was crying uncontrollably. When I arrived, my heart clenched seeing Daniel already caring for her. Emily hugged me tightly, sobbing loudly. I'm sorry, Aunt Anna. I didn't mean to worry you again. It's okay, my love, I whispered, trying to calm her. At that moment, Rebecca appeared, her presence casting a shadow over us. Daniel quickly stood, but this time his gaze carried no fear or guilt. He faced his wife directly, determined. Emily needs care right now, Rebecca. We're not discussing this here. She stepped back, surprised by his firmness. Daniel, we'll talk about this later, she said coldly, walking away. Later, when everything was under control and Emily was resting at home, I received a message from Daniel that made my heart stop for a moment. I know I should stay away, Anna, but I can't pretend I don't feel anything anymore. Meet me tomorrow. We need to talk. I stared at the screen, feeling torn between forbidden hope and absolute fear of what might happen next. I knew that no matter what I did now, my life would never be the same again. I didn't sleep that night. The phone rested on the nightstand like a ticking time bomb. Every time the screen lit up with a notification, my heart jumped in my chest. What did Daniel want to say? Was he ready to destroy everything? And me? Was I ready to listen? The next morning, I dropped Emily off at school and slowly walked to the cafe where we had agreed to meet. Each step felt like it weighed a ton. My hands were sweaty, my breathing quickened. I hated myself for being there, for wanting so badly to see him, even knowing it was wrong. When I entered the cafe, I saw Daniel sitting in the corner, already waiting. He had his elbows on the table, his head down, as if carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. My heart tightened. He looked tired, vulnerable, human. Anna, he murmured when he saw me standing up. "I thought you weren't coming." "I almost didn't," I answered weakly, pulling out the chair to sit. "Please, be quick, Daniel." He took a deep breath, nervous. He ran a hand through his hair, as he always did when anxious. "I can't live like this anymore," he said bluntly, his eyes fixed on mine. "I tried to stay away. I tried to do the right thing. But I'm in love with you, Anna." The world spun around me. "Daniel." "No." I tried to protest, but my voice faltered. "I know," he continued, pressing his hand on the table as if needing to anchor himself. "I know I'm married. I know this is wrong. But I also know I don't want to live a lie anymore." I stayed silent, feeling tears burn my eyes. I should tell him to stop. I should get up and leave. I knew that. But the words stuck in my throat. He took another deep breath. "Rebecca knows. She knows everything, even though nothing truly happened between us. She wants to control me, to destroy you, to use Emily against you." I swallowed hard, feeling my blood run cold. "I'm going to ask for a divorce," he finally said. "I can't take it anymore." I looked at him, stunned. Part of me desperately wanted to seize that chance, that moment I had secretly dreamed of for months. But the other part, the part responsible for Emily, knew it wasn't that simple. "Daniel, do you have any idea what you're saying?" My voice came out trembling, almost a whisper. "You'll ruin your life. You'll ruin mine. You'll ruin Emily's life." He reached out toward me, lightly touching my fingers. I felt the touch like an electric shock. "I love you, Anna. I won't give up on this." I closed my eyes for a moment, feeling a deep pain pierce my chest. I loved him too. There was no denying it anymore. But sometimes, love isn't enough. I slowly stood, pulling my hand back. He remained still, watching me. "I can't, Daniel. I can't do this to Emily. She's already lost her mother. She can't lose her stability, too." He shook his head, desperate. "We can make it work. I can face Rebecca, face everything." "You don't understand," I interrupted, feeling the tears fall freely now. "It's not about facing things. It's about protecting. I won't allow Emily to lose anything else because of something that shouldn't even exist." He fell silent, his eyes misty, fists clenched on the table. I leaned forward slightly, fighting the instinct to hug him. "Goodbye, Daniel." And then I turned my back and walked away. Outside, Chicago's cold air cut my face like a razor. I wandered aimlessly through the streets, my chest tight, choking on sobs. People rushed past, indifferent to my pain. I was just another ordinary woman, living a drama no one saw, no one knew. A silent, suffocated love that would die before it even had the chance to live. That night, I sat beside Emily, watching her sleep deeply. I gently touched her golden hair, feeling a pang of longing for my sister, for everything I had lost. And now, for Daniel too. I had made my choice. I had sacrificed my heart to protect something bigger. Emily's safety, the promise I made to my sister on her deathbed, to care for her no matter the cost. But the truth, my heart was shattered. And you? Have you ever had to give up someone you were madly in love with, even without having had the chance to live that love? Share your story in the comments.